19th of September, even more changes are coming to interest rates, and this directly impacts you. Let's get the short-term impacts out of the way. So obviously, as interest rates go up, the cost of anything to do with property, business, debt directly impacts us. So when people are growing their businesses, naturally they get business loans to expand. Maybe you're looking to get by in life and maybe you get a personal loan or a credit card. And of course, in property, most of us are getting mortgages. If it's buy-to-let, that's 75% loan to value, which means if I buy a 100K house, 75 grand of it is from the banks. And with the interest rates going up, it directly impacts us. Now, you might think that's a bad thing, but actually there's some real positives that come from paying more. So let's get geeky with some economics. If you know me well on this channel, you know I am a part-time artist. Failed artist, and this is a car, okay? And I want to use the analogy of a car right now, and in particular I want to talk about the accelerator and the brake of a car, and I want to relate this to economics and how it impacts you and how you can prepare for the 19th of September and the upcoming changes again, along with my prediction. So the accelerator is inflation, and the brake is interest rates. And I want to explain this as clearly as I can. Apologies for my terrible writing there. So inflation. Inflation is an outcome. It's not something we're deliberately going, right, I'm going to have 5% inflation, please. So I think it was the 70s, don't quote me, it might have been the 60s, over in New Zealand, somebody was talking about inflation, they were getting filmed, and they went, well, what's the target inflation rate? And they went, roughly 2%. That is genuinely how the world's, most of the world's targets, certainly the UK's inflation target, become just 2%. You'd think there was a little bit more thought into it, but genuinely, check it out. That is true. That's why we have that target. Now, if you think about what happened during COVID, are we allowed to say that word now? During the C-bomb, what happened is there was this big pent-up frustration ready to explode. That sounds less inappropriate coming out of my mouth. Anyway, so all of this pent-up demand happened, and we were in lockdown for 3 months, and then suddenly we were allowed out. We're allowed out on a walk. Cheers, Boris, top guy. And then we could go for a walk, but also we can buy property again. And so all of that pent-up demand suddenly went there, but there's not the supply chains, there's not the people, all of those sort of things, there's not the tech to keep up with the sudden demand. When demand is higher than supply, prices are rising, i.e. you can get less with your money every single day. That is called inflation. And in fact, inflation went to double figures, and that's advertised inflation, by the way. Real inflation is even higher, but not for this video. So inflation goes up like this. And when inflation goes up like that, what happens is it becomes more and more difficult for expansion. So let's face it, as a buy-to-let landlord, we're looking for a few things, capital growth being one of them, but how much income are we getting? And if the costs of running the property, the business, the property, whatever way you want to see it, goes up, then our profits go down. And what this naturally does is obviously we have to pass it on to the tenant, prices of the rents go up. If costs go up, do you think there are more buyers in the market or less buyers? Less buyers. And if there are less buyers in the market, do you think that means property prices go up or they go down? Correct, they go down. So they'll either be stable, grow slower, or go down. Or showing the prices during 2022, 2023, you can see that actually growth is either quite low, is steady, or even reducing in some areas. And on average, it's pretty stable, very small amounts of growth, not the long-term average of 7.9%. So once inflation, and the reason this happens, by the way, is because interest rates have come up, and this is the brake of the economy. So the way that typically we can take our foot off the accelerator, as human beings, we can go, do you know what? Actually, we're probably spending a bit too much. Prices are getting a bit crazy. There's all this media talking about the cost of living crisis. I'm going to calm it down a little bit. When do you notice people doing that? Never. Instead, people will bitch and moan about how little money they have, and then they go and get another takeaway on Friday night. Because we're human, right? That's what we do. We've got all the subscriptions and everything that comes along with it. So the way the government does this, or more correctly, the Bank of England does that, is they put their foot on the brake. And they do this by going, we need to put the interest rates up. And it slows down people's spending power. Once the car then slows down because we've got a bit out of control, we take the foot off the brake. And the way the Bank of England do this is by slowly reducing the interest rate. So the last interest rate update, it went from 5.25% Bank of England rate to 5%. What's going to happen on the 19th of September? I'll cover in a second. So the question is, why are they lowering now? Well, if you look at inflation rate right now, July to July is the latest that I managed to find from the Office of National Statistics, which is the only place I'd really take it from, and it's gone up 2.2%. So we're pretty much at target inflation. This is good. So what happens is they start reducing it down. Now, again, this is going to be interest rates, the green one now. That's not green. There we go. So if interest rates go down, does it become more costly or less costly to run your property empire? Less costly. And then when it becomes less costly, do you think more people want to buy or less people want to buy? More people want to buy. And this isn't just for buy-to-let investors, it's for homeowners as well. So more people want to buy. When more people want to buy and the frenzy starts again, what do you think happens to property prices? They go up. And in fact, the last time that this happened many years ago, they went up almost 10% in the first year. Why is this important and what's going to happen on the 19th of September? Well, why do I keep saying the 19th? The 19th of September is when the Bank of England committee are getting together and they're going to vote on whether it's going to go up, stay the same, or go down. And I've got my own predictions around this, which I'm going to tell you in a second, and why they matter to you. So what's going to happen is it needs a majority vote in there. The committee members are going to get in. It's very unlikely they're going to be unanimous, but there's a chance it could go up, stay the same, or go down. Now, here's the good news. My prediction is I would be absolutely shocked if it goes up. Okay? Shocked if it goes up because the economy is playing ball. We are playing ball. We are helping it. A bit of inflation is good. We still want to move the car. We don't want to stand still and just deteriorate. I think, honestly, we're talking if I had to put money on it, I would say it's going to stay the same or drop by another 0.25%, which I know that's me copping out a little bit, isn't it? Rather than absolute. The ambitious part of me wants it to stay the same, by the way, and I'll explain why, because you might think I want it to drop, but I actually don't. So I'm going to say 60% is going to stay the same, 40% is going to drop, and if it does, it will be by 0.25%, so it'll go to 4.75%. Why do I want it to stay the same, whereas most property investors, they want it to come down? Because it increases the window of opportunity. And these two lines here are that window of opportunity. So there's a delay factor, and this is your opportunity. By the way, I'm just going to say it now. If you've got 50K or more and you want to invest in buy-to-let property and you have been waiting for the window of opportunity, put APG in the comments now. That's APG. It stands for Aspire Property Group. I'm going to give you a free one-to-one consultation on how you can take advantage of this opportunity. And if you want my team to do it and help you build your portfolio, then we can do that for you hands-free. So it's only for people that have got the money, 50K or more, and you want to start building your portfolio, APG. So why is this? Well, we have a delay factor. So if this black line represents property prices, and in general, we all know property prices go up. But what happens is property prices come back down a little bit when interest rates have spiked. So as we've seen this is the interest rates go like this, and they have a converse relationship. So when interest rates come down, property prices go up, and when interest rates go up, property prices come down. So you can see they're conflicting here and pushing away and repelling each other, if that makes sense. And so interest rates have come down and they're stabilizing now, which means we've got this window of opportunity here. And it's to buy as many as possible. And we've been waiting for this moment for, I say 2 years, but like it will come around every 4 or 5 years. Now on the macro, the larger scale, if in doubt, zoom out. It doesn't really matter. Buy property right at its peak, and over the long term, you're still gonna make a shed ton of money. but sometimes the economy gives this window of opportunity where we can go all in. So demand is insanely high right now. Supply is drastically low. The government needs to do something about that. But in the meantime, I'm not going to bitch and moan about it. I'm going to take advantage. If you ask my genuine opinion, I think we've got between 6 and 12 months to take full advantage of this window of opportunity, which means I want to start buying yesterday. And the reason for that is over the next year, where these interest rates are coming down, that's a bit of a drastic exaggeration, property prices end up going up. But here's the thing, the kick of it, which I do feel bad for tenants a little bit on this, but I'm going to play the game as well. Obviously, in the meantime, rents have drastically gone up. And so rents have gone up because interest rates have gone up for us to afford it. Interest rates come down. Let's face it, we're not about to drop our rents. So we're now making even more cash flow and the value of the property. The people that I feel gutted for are the people that are still 3, 4, 5 years off being able to buy their first house. Because if you're not on the ladder right now and you're watching this, do everything you possibly can over the next 6 to 12 months to get on the ladder. And if you're an investor, do not wait to buy property and wait. Hopefully that's been helpful. It's a bit of a, felt a bit ranty, but definitely an educational video. We've got the accelerator of the car, the inflation, the brake from the Bank of England, and the brakes have been on. They have been successful. We've come down to roughly 2% inflation, and now we're letting our foot off the brake, ready to race again. And I'm telling you right now, the engine is ready. They're doing their final checks. Now's the time you want to be in the car. You don't want to try and get in the car once it's up to 100 miles an hour because it's too late and it's too risky. So if you want to get in this window, and by the way, even it's just for a informal chat about how you can do this yourself, put APG in the comments. It's only for people that qualify, so 50k or more. We'd love to have a free one-to-one session where we can help you grow even further. Let me know what your predictions are. Let's see if I'm right on the 19th of September. Let me know what you think they're going to be before the 19th and what your predictions are in the comments. If you're new to the channel, you want to find out more about property, hit subscribe and the notification bell. And if you did get value from this rant/educational video, hit the like button. It helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.